feel me?
Yo, I'm back, speaking into the void. Still getting used to this. Just sitting here in my room, talking to myself, right? So, I kind of wanted to record a video, talking about my package handler seasonal worker at FedEx. That was for 2 months, and that was quite an experience. It wasn't all bad. It was all right, but it was like half and half, a little homosexuality. It's okay though. Um, so to give you some background, I started working there late October, I believe, and the whole. So okay, let me give you some context. So I needed a job. I was getting out the military, active duty. Um, so I went on Indeed. I was hitting up all different sorts of jobs. I wasn't really, I probably applied for like four. I tried applying for fucking being like working, cleaning cars, whatever the fuck you call that. But FedEx hit me up quick. They called me actually, and I was like, oh, okay, it looks like they need workers, whatever. It was a pretty quick process over the phone, and they're like, all right, here's a date, show up, we'll process you, whatever. I was like, all right, cool.
Oh,
Show up. I it's early in the morning. I think it's like 5 in the morning. I can't remember. I just remember it being early in the morning, but nothing I'm not used to. Um, Whatever. We sit down. Old dude starts talking, presenting like, what the job entails, safety regulations, blah 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 blah. I was like, all right, cool, cool, cool. I read the room. I look around the room, and not to judge, it was full of characters. You got like an old dude, you got a fucking white dude that was kissing ass, you got a fucking girl with face tattoos, you got fucking a thug, but whatever. I'm learning the job. I am sitting there chilling, whatever. That was like day one, easy day. It was 3 days of training, quote unquote, whatever. Classes, a test, whatever. Day two, earlier in the morning, I think, whatever. I pull up, chilling. I make some small talk with people there, whatever. I'm not trying to be weird. These are gonna be my coworkers. I'm gonna talk to them, obviously. Um, I start to notice every time we like had to leave that room, or there's this chick, like I mentioned. She had like face tattoos. She looked like maybe in her late 30s. She was a little, I'm not gonna lie, she was chopped cheese, okay? She wasn't that attractive, but it is what it is. I just started to notice, my first day of training, and then now it's my second day we're on. Started like sit next to me, but that's not a big fucking deal, right? Like, let's not overthink that. Just, people just sitting wherever they want to sit. But whatever, we start making small talk. I crack a few jokes here and there. This old dude telling us about the job. She's laughing, whatever. Who gives a fuck? I remember out of nowhere, she's like typing in her notes, nothing, whatever, typing on her phone, whatever. But she's typing on her notes, shows me her phone, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm so confused. And her notes, she typed out. It was like, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what it was, but it was like, you seem kind of chill. Do you want my phone number? I was like, fuck. This is what I'm pulling right now? Come on, man. I mean, a dog's got to eat when a dog's got to eat. Nah, I'm fucking with you. But, you know, I was like, damn, fuck, I'm cornered. I have to say yes. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I hand her my phone. She puts in her contact. Whatever. We're talking. She's telling me about her shit, like about the job, how she feels about it. It's like, not too bad. Whatever. I'm like, fuck, whatever. And then later that same day, while we're in class, the fucking fire alarms go off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Of course, everyone gets up. Everyone's kind of like slightly freaking out. I'm like, dude, it's just fire alarms. Relax. It's not that big of a deal. But whatever. We all step outside. Everyone evacuates. We go out, stand outside. Everyone's just talking. Whatever. I'm sure this has happened plenty of times. I'm sitting there. I start to notice that she follows me. And I'm like, all right, cool. She starts making small talk. I can do small talk for a certain amount of time before it gets fucking like annoying. I'm sure everyone feels the same way about that, but whatever. We're talking. She's cold. She starts to like huddle up next to me, like hiding behind my back. I'm like, dude, what is this grown woman doing with kids, right? She mentioned she had kids, but who cares? whatever. We go back inside. We sit down, and then she looks at me. I'm like, yo, you know. She's like, uh, don't forget to text me later. I'm like, I won't forget. She's like, you're gonna forget. And in my mind, I'm like, damn straight, I'm gonna fucking forget. You got a kid and face tattoos. Who the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, dude, get your life together. I don't, not to be an asshole, you know, I'm there working there too, but you know, like, I'm 23. I'm not gonna talk to you. You have face tattoos and, you know, God knows how many fucking kids would, how many baby daddies. I'm joking. But that was my experience initially as starting the job. Whatever. I start to work there. It's whatever. Package handler, throwing in packages into fucking trucks. It is what it is. And this was right like 2 weeks before the peak season. And if anyone knows, if you ever worked there, if you don't know, peak season for package handler is dog shit. It is hell on earth. You get bombarded with fucking packages and you get stacked up. It becomes a fucking Chinese sweatshop. It's disgusting. But whatever. Right before that, it was chill, whatever, you know, talking to people here and there. It was cool. Just trying to make some extra income before school starts for me. It is what it is. Um, you know, peak season starts. It starts to get horrendous. Fucking, it started to feel like I was in China, um, making clothes, whatever they do down there. I don't know, but I know they sweat in there and they call it a sweatshop for a fucking reason. It started to suck, but it is what it is. Got to thug it out. It was crazy. I'll give you an example how bad it got sometimes. Like there was a new girl there. She started to work there. She's like I noticed her started to work there for like 2 3 days, and on like her third day, right, she goes to take a piss break, comes back, her 3 trucks are stacked with a fuck ton of packages. She obviously, of course, sees that. She tries for a little bit. She quits on the spot. I don't blame her. Peak season is horrendous. It's insane. She just left, but like, let me explain this. Working during peak season, at least where I was at, you can't take a piss break or a fucking water break because when you do come back from whatever break you just fucking took, smoke break, whatever the fuck you want to, you know, you come back and your trucks are fucking stacked with packages. And people, obviously, on that van line where the packages move, they're gonna see. Some people are kind enough to even grab your packages and throw them outside your truck for you to later put them in yourself and scan them or whatever. But her shit was fucking at least 300 packages. It was. I don't blame her for looking at that beautiful view of fucking shit boxes and then quitting on the spot. Obviously, that it was like the last 2 hours of my shift, and it was a shit show. I was like, dude. During peak season, I felt like quitting almost every other day, but I was like, dude, come on. I've done harder things in my life, but it was just I didn't like how you can't really take a piss break, and then when you come back, it's a shit show. I don't like that. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's not humane. But you know, thug it out, and then being there, there was this dude. He was a trainer, right? He was a little zesty, you know. He was a little like he fell off a rainbow, like he, you know what I'm trying to say, like he liked boys, like he was a zesty dude. You know, he was helpful. He was a trainer, so he would come up to me, ask me if I needed any, like if I had any questions. I said no, I'm good. It's pretty fucking simple. It's cut and dry, like you know, whatever. As I worked there for the little 2 months that I did, he started to, you know, pop up randomly, check up on me, whatever. You know, we started to build a relationship, like a friendship. You know, I don't have any problem with the gays, you know, as long as you don't fucking touch me. It's all right. Everything's cool, you know. But I started to notice, like, he was a little weird sometimes. Like, one time, I dropped a package, like, well, it ripped from the bottom, and there's a bunch of fucking toilet paper. And he's like, wait, don't move. Let me take a picture. This is cute. I was like, dude, get the fuck out of my way. Like, first of all, you're not going to take a picture of me. There's a bunch of toilet paper around me. It looks like a fucking gangbang fest. Like, we're about to, I don't know, a Diddy party. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't want to pick, I don't know you like that. You're not going to take a picture of me with toilet paper around me. Get the fuck out of here, kid, you know? But whatever. That was weird. It's just all sorts of characters there. It's it's a good time and a bad time, but it is what it is. I think it's mostly comes down what you make of it, you know, with anything in life. Another story from that place is I was talking to my manager, and my manager's a pretty cool guy. You know, he's a veteran, so you know, me and him got kind of, you know, grew a friendship out of that. You know, we became a little bit of friends. You know, just a little banter here and there. You know, but one day it was going slow. The van line was moving slow. Like there wasn't a lot of packages. So you know, I struck up a conversation with him, and I was like, "Yo, boss, you know, there's this kid named John. He works at the like the left side of the building." I was like, "Yo, boss, like how long has John been working here? Like he busts his ass. Like he's a good worker. He's a little autistic, but it's okay. Like how long has he been working here?" He's like, "Oh, he's been working here since he was 18." I was like, "Wait, John's 29." He's like, "Yeah, he's been working here for like a little bit of like 10 years or so." I was like, "Holy fuck, like this kid did not want to move up in the chain, you know what I mean? Did he not want to become a trainer? Did he not want to become I don't know. The kid suffers from fucking Stockholm syndrome. And this kid right here, in his section of like trucks, he deals with like all the heavy packages, and he just thugs it out. You know, he's not a kid, he's a grown ass man, but you know, he was just a short guy, but that's crazy to me, like how some people, you know, like I'm getting into like what I said earlier, there's a lot of characters, and I don't understand how like some people can just work at that job and not even move up, let alone maybe quit and find something better. I mean, money is money, I get it, but holy shit, did that job get ass? You know, it's ass at sometimes, but all in all, my experience working at FedEx was all right. It was cool. Met some funny people there, had some weird experiences. It is what it is. Now that shit's slowing down for me, and you know, I have a lot of free time. Probably just gonna hit the gym a little harder. You know, school's gonna start soon, late January. Focus on that. Find a different part-time job that fits my schedule. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I'm gonna upload shit like this, just stories, shit that I, you know, what I believe in, fucking, you know, jihad. No, I'm joking. But, you know, shit like this, just speaking into the fucking void. To whoever fucking listened to this, I appreciate you. Please comment. Let me know you like the video so I don't have to kill myself. But nah. Anyways, I'll leave you guys with this. No one is louder than a black woman knowing there's alcohol coming to the function.